There we go. Amazing. So, welcome back to my podcast, guys. We actually have a very special guest with us today. This has actually been a very long time coming. I feel like we've needed this for a long time, but perfect timing because Nat is actually one of my clients who has been with me for how long now?
Just over a year, I think.
Over a year.
It's been a long time.
Just about to take a step on her own and kind of like see how she can, yeah, be without coaching for a while, which I'm very excited for you. Would you like to introduce yourself in regards to kind of a bit of what you do day to day, like your job, and then we can kind of go into like why you started coaching?
Of course. So I'm Nat. Hi guys. I am a flight attendant. I didn't used to be. So for 10 years I was a primary school teacher, but then found myself being really, really burnt out. Wasn't enjoying the job and decided I needed a massive career change. So it was frigging terrifying. But I was like, I just need to quit. Didn't have a clue what I was going to get into, but then somebody reminded me that I loved flying and I love going on holiday. So I was like, what can I do that is going to mean that I get paid for it and that I something that I get paid for that I still really, really love. So I applied to actually applied to Emirates first, didn't get that. And then the next day, the job came out to apply for Virgin, and it just encompassed everything about who I was as a person, applied and got the job. So I've been flying for 2.5 years now.
Oh my God,
So
I love it. I literally, I was gonna ask you like what got you into flying because I feel like everyone wants to, they all have a dream of like being a flight attendant, but no one
Mm.
really knows. Like, I would love to do that, but I hate flying. So like, that would not be good for the person
Yeah, I,
me.
I would recommend that you actually like flying a little bit before you do it. But it's wild and like it does mean that my routine is here, there, and everywhere, and I
Yeah.
don't have like, a set routine every single week.
Yeah. And I feel like that's definitely something that we have struggled with to begin with in terms of like, because you are a very regimented person, you like your routine. And something I've had to remind Nat a few times is like, this is just your life. And that's okay. And it's okay for it not to be like regimented and routine all the time, but we make do. And I do think that when you first joined the program, that was probably a bit of a fear of yours of like, how am I going to make this work with such an up and down schedule? But like, we've done it. Like we've done it. And I always say to people when anyone joins who've got like a crazy schedule, I'm like, we have a flight attendant, honey. You have no excuse. Like you are fine.
And I
So
think I think the thing is as well, like it's just again trusting myself to actually make the plan and follow the plan. And it's okay if some weeks it deviates a little bit from the plan.
yeah, 100%.
That's the hardest
Especially
thing.
like,
And also, it's taken me quite a long time to get this routine in place.
yeah,
It is not an overnight fix. I cannot stress that
yeah,
enough.
it takes
It's
time.
not overnight.
And it
Like
takes trial and error.
yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
have a week where everything's skew with, and then you'll have a week where you're like, okay, that felt good.
And it's being kind to myself as well.
Yes.
That's been something that I found really hard.
Yeah.
Like it's okay if something doesn't go to plan. As you said earlier, I'm a very routine person. I like to follow plan. I like to follow rules.
You like to
And
be in
when
control at all times.
she's a control freak. So yeah, it's understanding and recognizing that actually it's okay when things don't quite go to plan.
Yeah, and it will all work out anyway. That's the biggest thing.
Mm.
Amazing. So, what was the reason you joined the program?
So when I first discovered Ashley, I was not in a great place mentally at all. Like just about my self-image and body. Like my life was fantastic, still is. It's great. Um, but for some reason, I just had this huge thing against my body. And I just felt a little bit all over the place. Like I've done plans in the past and they've been successful. But that was like quite a long time ago. So I'd grown up quite a lot, and just felt a little bit lost. So I knew that I needed somebody to tell me what I needed to do so that I had a better understanding of like my body, nutrition, what I needed to fuel it with, and yeah, how to improve going forwards.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's one of the hardest things as well is like, I think when you get to a point where you just think, okay, something has to change now because I
Mm.
don't feel my best. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of women as well will just kind of lean into that. and be like, well, no, this is how I should feel, or, or whatever, because it's just that comfort zone. But I think actually stepping and asking for help and asking for that support can be daunting, but actually, like, it's where you're going to flourish because you have that knowledge, the accountability, you have that next level.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you've been with us for, yeah, just over a year now, which is amazing. I guess one of the biggest things I wanted to ask you is like, and this is going to be a hard question to answer, so just be prepared. But
Go on.
what is like one of the biggest things that you have learned about yourself on this journey?
My gosh. The biggest thing that I've learned about myself is basically I have recognized that I'm a really good person and I'm like take pride in that and I'm really kind, but then that means that I put everyone else first
Yeah.
all the time, like literally all the time. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned um is that I have to put myself first. And I'm not perfect in that yet, but we're
We're getting
definitely getting there.
there.
Um, so yeah, it's just reminding myself that actually no, nobody's gonna do this for me. Like I need to do this for myself. Like Ashley's been fantastic in helping me to get there. So I did need you 100%. But actually, now that I'm going on my own,
You're
um,
gonna be fine.
remind myself that they're actually having that self-belief that I can do this. So yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest thing that I've learned.
I love that. And I think that's actually really interesting because you just said the reason you started was to lose weight. And
Oh
actually, the
God,
biggest thing you've learned is not even about,
no.
obviously, you've learned how to lose weight because we've lost the weight, right?
Yeah.
But actually, a lot of it is to do with like your identity and yourself as a person.
It's all about that.
Yeah.
It is all about that. And like again, can't stress enough that it's mindset, mindset, mindset. And again, that's probably something that I've only really very recently in the last couple of weeks
Yeah.
actually done something about,
Yeah.
you know?
She knew she was like, right, she's not going on my back anymore, so I need to make sure I do this now.
I actually need to do something now. I actually need to do the things that she's been telling me to do.
The whole
But no,
year.
I think it's like one step at a time, and that's another thing that I struggle with. I want to do everything all at once,
Yeah.
and you just can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, breaking it down into like little chunks, I think is really helpful.
100%. And one thing I want to ask you on like the back of that as well is like, what's the hardest thing about this journey so far for you?
Um, Kind of like I said earlier, I'm somebody that really likes to follow rules. So when things don't go to plan, I kind of have a bit of a meltdown and then I don't want to do anything because it just feels too overwhelming. Like the amount of times I've messaged Ash being like, I can't do it, I'm overwhelmed, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this. And then Ash kind of like breaks it down for me. And it's like, just focus on one thing at a time. Don't try and do everything all at once.
Yeah.
So,
100%. And I think it can be really easy because we all have that like all or nothing mindset.
oh God.
It can be really easy for us to think, oh my God, I need to get my steps in. I need to hit this number. I need to do this and I need to do that. And it's like, actually, no, like that's not going to move things forward right now because you're probably going to go into meltdown mode of thinking, well, I can't do any of those things. So what's the point? Whereas, like, if you just get out and get some fresh air, if you just eat protein with every single meal today,
Yeah.
like you just do your best. And like
Mhm.
something that I always say as well, like, and you would have heard me say a million times because you all heard me say the same things over and over, but like, like your 100% one day is going to be very different to your 100% another day. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's just that mindset and that reminding yourself that like today isn't the same as yesterday or isn't going to be the same as tomorrow. And that's okay. And it doesn't mean I'm failing. It just means that that's just life. And
Yeah.
what's the best I can do in that situation? I think that's something you've definitely had to learn along the way and still learning because you're very much like me. Like I'm a massive control freak and we really struggle to take a step back and detach from that and be like, listen, I don't have control over these things and that's absolutely fine. You know?
One of my friends said to me, which is a really good quote that I try and like live by, is do the next right thing.
Yeah, right. The next decision.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just do the next right thing.
yeah,
And I was like, oh my God, that's really profound.
yeah. A hundred
I
percent.
I try and really live by that because I'm like, because then it focuses on just one thing rather than 50 million things.
Yeah.
So just do the next right thing.
Yeah. And that could be at 8 p.m. at night and you realize you've done absolutely nothing. What's the next
Yeah,
thing you can get yourself into a nice cozy bedtime routine and go to
yeah,
bed?
exactly.
It's
Just
never
do
done.
that thing. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Or like plan your day out for the next day or whatever it is.
yeah.
It's like there's always something next you can do. And I think that's really important for anyone listening because I feel like a lot of us feel like we have to tick all the boxes and do everything perfectly. Like that's not realistic. It's not life, that's not a lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, no,
No.
I love that. What's like one of the biggest things that you have actually, let's talk about the gym because I feel like your gym progress has been amazing, right? From when you started to now. I think that's like a really big thing because I know a lot of women listening have a massive fear of the gym.
Mhm.
And like Nat actually now trains like basically all over the world. Like there's always another gym. I'm seeing her film her
I have
videos
to,
in.
I have to be so brave and just go into a gym that I've probably never been in
Yeah.
before all the time.
How has your confidence changed in regards to the gym, like
So
when you started to now?
when I first started, one thing I'd probably say, the reason that I was like holding back even from starting my coaching experience was investing in myself and
Yeah,
spending money.
yeah,
Like I have a real thing about spending money.
yeah,
Um, but I made the decision that actually, no, again, nobody's going to spend this money for me. Nobody's going to invest in myself. So I needed to just do that for myself and put money into myself. So that was the first hurdle that we got over. The next hurdle was I didn't want to spend money on a gym membership because I was like, well, I've got my weights at home, which I've had since COVID. Um, and we started with home workouts, didn't we?
yeah,
So I was filming all my home workouts. And then every single week, Ash was like, I think you're a gym girl. I just think you just suit the gym way better. You're just a gym girl. And I was like, yeah, do you know what? I just feel like this is not the right environment. And again, you bang on about the environment that's really, really important. Um, so I was like, right, okay, let's get a gym membership. So I got, and that was the other thing. The other thing that held me back as well. I was like, well, I get the gym for free when I'm all over the world because I could either just use a hotel gym or whatever. So I didn't want to pay for a gym membership. But then, yeah, got one, and it's been a game changer because my gym has a sauna. So I
yeah,
was like, now I can use the sauna all the time. But yeah, like I just feel like my environment in the gym, I can zone out
yeah.
massively and I can really, well, zone out, but also really focus on my workouts and I can upgrade. Like that's been the hugest thing. Like I just outgrew my weights at home.
Yeah.
I was
And
just stronger and
I think that's really important as well, is because even something that a lot of the girls in the team are going through now is, and to be fair, if you weren't traveling all the time, I'd probably say the same for you. If you had a job that was like, day to day, 9 to 5, work from home, I would probably say to you, like, it's time to change gyms. Like, I'll be honest.
oh,
Because there are times where you go, I've now outgrown this gym. I need to move to the next level.
mhm.
And there's always another level to go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do feel like your environment is everything. And yes, home workouts can get you so far and they're amazing to begin with. Like they really are. Like you said, like that's really where you can learn your form. That's when you can get into a good routine. Your body starts to change, you start to see progress, but there's only so much you can do at home, right?
Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
like, right, let's go to the next level. And then it's so funny because like I wish everyone could see your training videos of when you're like in New York and like in
Oh,
these
it's
bodybuilding.
hilarious.
And like Nat's just like putting her camera up. She don't even care. She's like going.
Like, yeah,
I love it. I'm so
honestly. But I think as well, like I realized I'm not going to get anywhere if I don't film my workouts and send them to you
yes,
because I'm not going to learn. And why did I invest in this in the first place? Is to learn and
exactly.
to improve and get better. And I can't do that without filming these and sending them. Like you just have to get rid of that fear.
Yeah.
And it is hard. Like don't get me wrong, it is hard. But once you've got rid of that fear and you start, getting the feedback from Ash and everything, it's so much better. So, so much better.
I love that because then I really hope that like majority of the girls are listening on the team right now.
In a way as well, can we just remember that I used to I used to do my home workouts and have Love Island on.
Yeah, she did. I used to tell her all the time.
Literally told me off every single time. I was like, I can't get through these workouts like without having something on that I'm interested in. And Ash was like, yeah, but then you're not actually concentrating on what you're meant to be doing. I was like,
Yeah.
and there was always a yeah, but always a yeah, but I was constantly making excuses. And now I just go into the gym, put my little gym playlist on, we get on with it.
And I think
No.
that's important as well. Like that's why some of the ladies who might be listening from the team, I always say like I will put the sound on in the background of all form videos to begin with. And if there's no music, if there's a TV on in the background, whatever it is, I'm like, guys, that your like you said, your environment is everything. And I
Mhm.
think until you tap into that, when someone's telling you that to begin with, it's like you don't want to hear it. Like when I said that to you, Brie thought, girl, let me watch Love Island. Like, well, I'm doing my workout. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, come on. I'm getting it done.
But it's like it's showing you like no, like you need to be intentional with what you're doing. You need to get like if even if we have some of the girls, and this might sound really brutal, but like if they're doing it in their freaking pajamas, absolutely not. Go and get changed because like
Yeah.
you don't want to be there.
You want
You're
to
not
feel good.
yeah, like you're not going to get that into a routine and habit if you're not. And I think what would you say to someone who is like just transitioning from home workouts into the gym? They're super nervous. They don't want to film their workouts. They feel like they're just like they're not a gym person. You know, when someone just tells himself like I'm not someone who's confident in the gym.
Mhm.
What would you say to someone is like the biggest tip that you learn from tr making that transition? Because that is a scary transition.
It is, yeah, no, it is, and it really can be. And I think like, the biggest thing is just having that faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Just do something that you feel comfortable doing in the gym first.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be, I'm sure I probably like saying exactly the same things that you've said before, Ash, but just do a little bit. Like, you don't have to go in and do like an hour and a half, 2 hour session. Just go in, do a couple of machines
Or
that you feel.
even go on the treadmill. Just go on the
Yeah.
treadmill. Like just start and then you're like, I'm here now. Okay, the
Yeah,
next step, we'll get on the machines. Do you know what I mean? It's like one step at a time, which I
yeah,
think makes a big
absolutely.
difference.
And
Um,
then, and also, again, being kind to yourself and praising yourself for even making that step and getting into the gym.
yeah.
Like, yeah, celebrate it, you know?
Even if you just walk in and walk back out, you still made it in the gym.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's a massive achievement. And I think that's really important as well because I think a lot of people think, oh, I just can't do that. And they'll sit outside the gym and they'll
Mm.
sit in the car. And we've all done it where we're like, oh my God, I've got to walk in there. I don't want to
Yeah.
walk in there. And it's like when we trained together that time and I walked in and like I expected Nat to be like at the desk waiting for me. And I was like, where is she? And she was just upstairs on one of the machines. And I was like, I love it. Like she's just
I
like,
just, I have to say as well, like I was scared to do that. Again, it was like a different gym, and I feel like I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of like put you on a bit of a pedestal because I'm like, oh my God, she's like this incredible, which you are, incredible person, like knows exactly what she's doing. Like she's going to this really cool gym that's got all this like different equipment that I've like never seen, not that I've never seen before, but and I was like, oh my God, and there's going to be other people in there, and I don't like who are these people, and I was like, right, I just had to have a word with myself. I was like, for fuck's sake, Nat, like you can do this.
yeah,
You are a woman who knows what you're doing. You can go in there and just find a machine
yeah.
that you've used before. So I think that's yeah, that's all I did. I
No,
think
I
it was
love it.
I think I found the lap machine, which is
Yeah.
like my favorite. So I was like, just get on there.
And that's
You
the
know
thing.
what you're doing.
Find something you're familiar with and then just stay
Mhm.
there and then just then engage the rest of the gym. And I
Mhm.
think I love that as well because even though you had that fear there, you were like, you had, you know, you overpowered that fear with that other voice in your
Mhm.
head being like, listen, right, stop being stupid. Like, we know what we're
Yeah.
doing. It's okay
Yeah.
to be scared. It's okay to have those feelings of like, oh my God, I can't do it. It's that little self-sabotage voice in the back of your head that's just trying to keep you safe. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I walked in and I was like, look at her go. She's already cracked on. I'm so here for it. No, I love that. I want to tap into like food because food is a really big thing that we have kind of worked on with yourself throughout this journey. How would you say your relationship with food has changed since when you started to now?
I think I have a much more positive relationship with food. Um, I think again, it goes back to the whole routine thing and being kinder to myself. So I know I keep like banging on about that, but that is something that
So
has
true.
hugely changed for me. Um, in that it's not going to be perfect all the time. It's very, it could be really, really difficult for me with my job in that I constantly have to bring food with me. Um, but I've kind of like pushed that barrier away to make sure that I don't make that as an excuse. Like, oh, where is me? I have to meal prep and take my food away with me all the time. I have to think about this, that, and the other all the time. No, I just have to get on with it. And it just means that I have to be a bit more prepared and a bit more planned than maybe I would be if I was at home. Um, so yeah, I just make sure that I have enough food with me on my trips and stuff to like fuel me, that it's like within my plan. And when I'm at home, I pretty much do the same thing. That I
Yeah.
have the right foods with me, um, prepped and planned. And I'm in a quite a lucky position in that my partner will make my evening meals for me. But we've had conversations and kind of I've said to him like, look, I want to make sure I've got this amount of protein, I've got this amount of veg, this amount like, and he's really lent into that, and it's been really helpful to
Yeah.
have him do my evening meals and then I just prep everything else.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
No, I love that.
I
And I
don't
think
know if
also
that's answered your
like,
question.
no, 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 that's perfect. I think also it's really beneficial to hear even just you being like, oh, like I could complain about it. Of course we could. Like that's not going to get you anywhere. So it's like, right, let's just do what we can. And like again, it's not perfect because there are going to be times where, you go to a different country, you can't take every single meal with you. So I guess like a good little insight as to what you do take. What do you take? Say you've got like a, I don't know, do you, like 3 day trip, like what would you take with you? Because you can't take every meal with you. How would you handle that?
Well, you say that, Ash. So it's funny because everyone sees me with my like lunchbox and like, what the hell have you got in there? So a typical, so I do quite a lot of one night trips, but that means 3 days away from home. So I have to make sure that I've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, breakfast and lunch for those 3 days because then I'll be home for dinner usually. So I have always my overnight oats. Like that is a no-brainer. Like I cannot go without my overnight oats. So that's my breakfast. Lunch will usually be because when I travel, I can't take beef or sausage or anything like that in with me. It has to just be chicken,
Yeah.
basically. As long as it's cooked, they're fine with me taking it in. So I'll usually have some form of chicken meal. So, for example, my last trip I took chicken stir fry, and what else did I have? Chicken pasta, um, what else? Or I have like chicken sausage, to mix it up a bit. But yeah, those will be like my lunch meal and my evening meal, and then I'll bring snacks as well. So I'll always have protein powder with me. And if I haven't pre-mixed it with my yogurt, because I have to have lactose-free yogurt, so I'm lactose intolerant. So that's another another layer
Just
to add.
to think about.
Um, but that's another conversation for another time. So yeah, make sure that I've got my protein powder. If I don't mix it with my yogurt beforehand, I will find a shop which has lactose-free yogurt and I'll mix it with that, or I'll have it as just a shake. Always have my rice cakes with honey, which steal the honey from the plane, don't tell work, as my pre-workout if I'm training. And then I'll have rice cakes with peanut butter as a little snack. I have biltong as a little protein snack as well. What else do I have? I'll usually take some form of fruit as well.
Yeah, I love that. I bet people on your flights look at you like, do you find that your like the staff and your colleagues, do they do any of this? Or have you inspired anyone to do it, or do they just kind of eat what's on the plane?
Some of them do. Most people eat the food that's on the plane, and that just, again, with being a rule follower and wanting to follow the plan, I really struggle with because
Yeah.
I like to I always tell people because they're like, oh my God, you've got so much food. And I'm like, yeah, I have,
Yeah,
because
perfect.
it's important to me.
I need it. Otherwise, I'm going to eat what's on the plane.
But yeah, that as well. And that is something that I have struggled with as well, as you know,
Yeah,
is like, so I've just laid out this like perfect plan. I'm not perfect. Please don't think that I'm perfect at all, because that is something that I've massively struggled with, is like having little snacks here and there on board, whilst I'm at work, because obviously I'm tired, doing long hours at work. And we all know that when we're tired, we tend to snack more.
yeah,
So that is something that I have been working on, to try to improve as well. But yeah, when I get on board and people see my lunchbox, and I usually like decant it into the fridge at work, and they're like, "Why have you got so much food?" I'm like, "Oh, because I just make sure that I've got enough food for me to eat throughout my trip. And they're like, have you got food for the way home as well? I'm like, yeah, I have to make sure I've got everything. And the thing with me is that I like to just know when I'm next going to eat.
Yeah,
And not just when I'm next going to eat, like what I'm next going to eat. I don't like, again, it's that control thing.
yeah,
I like to just have that for me.
yeah. I love that. It's so interesting when you're on this journey. It's like you do just start to have a bit more like, and you enjoy your meals too, right? That's the biggest thing. It's so funny
Oh
because people
God.
around you don't understand. Like, whenever I was in Portugal the other week, literally on the beach eating like my tempeh and salad, and my dad was
Mm,
looking at me like, "You're mental," and I was like, this makes you feel good. I know what I'm
mm,
having. I'm in control. Everything's fine, you know? And I think it's the same thing. Um, but it's nice because I think it's really interesting for people to hear from someone who is, always on the go. You could make a million
ways.
excuses. And
Yeah.
again, like so when you're not perfect, like when there is a lot of temptation at work, when everyone else is eating those foods, when you're tired, of course we need that dopamine hit. Of course it's going
Mm,
to be the easiest thing to go into. And you are still going to lean into it because
yeah.
you're a human, right? But I think having those foods there, I always say this to people as well, is like when you prep your meals and you have your meals there, it deters you a little bit more because you know you've got food there. So it's like when you don't have food there, it's an easy excuse to be like, well, I'm hungry, I've got nothing else. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for, the easiest option. Whereas like when
Yeah.
you know you've got that food in the fridge, it's like, and even if people don't say it to you, I bet you any money subconsciously, someone would have taken that away with them and they've probably gone and done the same.
Oh, 100%. And I think having the conversations on board, people are like, oh my God, I'm going to get myself a lunchbox. I'm going to make my food for my next trip. And it's really nice to like inspire people in that way as well.
Yeah. I also just want to touch on that because I know there's a lot of my clients who travel and a lot of them will say to me like, oh, like I just couldn't take my food with me. You can travel with food, can't you?
You can travel with food. So it sometimes depends where you're going. Um, I travel to America quite a lot. And as I said earlier, that they don't allow um, beef or pork in.
Yeah.
So I tend to just take chicken, but all of it has to be pre-cooked. You can't take any raw veg or raw fruit. So when I say I take fruit with me, I always eat it on board. So I
Yeah.
don't
Right. You're not
take.
going into the country with it.
But by the way, there's shops there
Yeah.
that you
By the
can buy.
roadside. Yeah.
You can buy stuff when you're there. But it's just, again, it's knowing the right places to go to. So Ashley really helpfully sent me a guide of like different food places to go to that I'm able to then tap into if for some reason I don't have my food or it hasn't been let in or whatever. There are places that I can go to ensure that I can stay like on track.
Yeah. I think people forget that when they're traveling. And listen, like when people most go on holiday or go on travel like traveling, they're on holiday, right? So it's like very different. We're not expecting everyone to do those things, but it's a little reminder that like guys, people do live in those countries. You can actually go to the shop and you can buy
Mhm.
things as much as we don't want to lean into that.
Mhm.
It's just a reminder that like you can stay on track. It doesn't mean being perfect, but I always say to people, like if you can take your protein powder with you, like that's one thing you can take. And if you can take I don't know, just some little bits. At least then like I always like to take my protein with me. I'll always
Yeah.
take some sort of protein with me. And then it's like, okay, the rest of it I can grab and go on the go, but at least I've got my
Yeah.
base with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to talk about your actual relationship with food as well around all of that. So like before you joined, how would you feel in regards to, say for example, you had a few days off work or, it was a weekend, you had a social event. Like, how would you handle that then, mindset wise, and I guess actually what you would eat compared to now? Like, how has that shifted for you?
Okay, so I think before I would just eat anything in sight. I didn't have that understanding of what fueled my body and what was good for me. To an extent, like I'd like to think that I was generally quite healthy and like made fairly good choices, just again based off my previous like coaching experience with other coaches. But since being with you, I've learned like exactly the right things that actually fuel me. And the biggest thing for me has been protein, like just understanding different protein sources and things like that. So when I go to like social events, barbecues, whatever, I will make sure that I'm either fueled beforehand
Yeah.
or will go to that event with my own food. And I think that has probably been one of the hardest things for me to get over is telling people that I've got my own stuff or I'm not going to have their food. I'm not going to do what they want me to do. Because this is for me, what I want and what's important for me. So yeah, I think when I do go to a social event, I just have to remind myself that, like I am on this journey, what my goals are, and make sure I stick to those. But it's also okay if that doesn't happen.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's really important as well, is like what you just said then is naturally we are people pleasers. We want everyone around us to feel like comfortable. Yeah, like it's like making sure everyone feels comfortable. It's like, but actually, like it's no one's business what you eat. And like it's got nothing to do with them whether you eat X, Y, Z. And I know people make a massive deal out of it. And it's one thing that people struggle with a lot. It's like their family, their friends, or social events, pressure to eat,
Yeah,
to drink, to do those
yeah,
things. And it can be hard. It's not an easy thing to just go into, but the more you do it, the more you trust yourself, right? Would you say is that kind of what's been built up for you? Is that
yeah,
self-trust?
yeah,
And
definitely.
realizing that like no one actually really cares unless you make a big deal out of it. No one cares.
Yeah. And I think you've said this before as well. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. Like you don't have to say, oh, I'm going to have this because I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm going to have this because I'm on a
Like,
journey or whatever. Just say no.
no, no
And
is a full
no
sentence.
is the sentence. Yeah. No is a full
No.
sentence. That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
Ashley Church quotes.
Yeah. It's like no, full stop. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
good. And it's
No,
like
thank you.
actually just leaning into that and being like, it's
And
actually okay.
the other massive thing I think that I have learned from this journey as well is people will put their opinions on you. And if people are like questioning what you're doing or, your choices, that's because they've got self, no, not they've got a lot of inner work that they need to do. Like they are projecting onto you how they feel.
Yeah.
And that's taken me a long time to recognize that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like so freeing when you do realize that that's what people are doing.
Everyone is a mirror, like of them. Like, do you know what I mean? That's it. It's everyone's projecting like a mirror, and that was something that I used to really struggle with myself. It's like I remember hearing a quote, and it was like, "Everyone is a mirror of you," and I remember being like, "But she's really mean. Like, I'm not a mirror. She's not me." Like, I used to really struggle with that. I didn't understand it, but now I understand it in terms of how people make you feel is just like maybe a little bit of unhealed trauma within yourself that you need to work on. And also alongside that, that everyone will try and meet you on their level. So if someone comes up to you and says, "Oh, like don't eat that, like you should just eat what you want and you should drink what you want." If you look at that person's lifestyle and who they are and what they stand for themselves in the nicest way, like you just kind of said then as well, it's like it's a reflection of them because you're a mirror of them. You're making them feel a type of way because like you're not doing what they want you to do to make them feel okay. Does that make like is that kind of what you're saying as well, right?
So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's just again being putting yourself first.
Yeah, 100%.
It's all about putting yourself first. And again, not saying I'm perfect. Like I'm still learning to make sure that I put myself at the forefront of everything. And it's hard,
Yeah,
but if I want to actually achieve the goals that I've set out to achieve, that just has to happen.
yeah, 100%. I was going to say to you as well, what are you most proud of yourself?
What am I most proud of myself for? Oh, that's a tough one.
Mhm.
I think, oh gosh, I think in terms of like the gym, like my back,
Yeah,
girl,
that looks
like
so good.
honestly, like and that wasn't even on the radar. Like I didn't even
Wasn't a
think,
goal.
no, not at all. And I think that is probably the thing that I am most proud of in terms of like how my body has changed. Um, yeah, just the fact like getting stronger, like building all these like routines and this,
Yeah,
oh my good God, like I have just learned to put myself first. Like mindset is so key
yeah,
in all of this. Like without fixing this, none of this would have happened at all.
Yeah. And I think
So,
that's a really hard thing as well because a lot of people, like you said earlier, like when you join this program, it wasn't about mindset. It wasn't about who
mm,
you're becoming. It was like, I want to lose weight, I want to feel good in my skin,
mm.
bish bash bosh. And like I always say to everyone, like, we can get you there. I can make you lose weight really quickly. It's not rocket science. Like it's pretty simple, right? Like but you'll end up back at square one. You know,
Mhm.
so it's like that's not what we do here. It is a lot deeper. It is a lot more uncomfortable. It is a lot
Yes.
of self-work, right? That's something I'll always say to everyone, like it's not going to be comfortable. But it's either and you're going to change for the long term, but you're not gonna get there and stay where you want to be if this is a fast process. It's just not gonna happen. So I guess with that as well, like what's your kind of journey next for you? Like what's next for you?
So Ash and I have just had a really lovely conversation about like the next steps. And I've decided that even though I'm taking a step back and it's really terrifying, I feel like I'm ready to give it a go because actually I can do it. And it's again, this is how much my mindset has changed because there's no way that when I first joined that I'd be like, I can do it. I can do it for me, and have like having that confidence. Um, so yeah, next steps for me are to increase my food a little bit because I want to like recomp my body. So it's continuing with my training plan, but slightly upping my food, and having that confidence in myself that I can do that,
Yeah.
and kind of like adjust my calories as and when is needed. So basically becoming my own coach. So
Good luck, honey. You got this. I'm excited for
got
you.
this. I've got this. But as Ash reminded me earlier, like if I feel like I need to come back and, have a little bit of a reset and stuff, I can.
Yeah.
Like this is not the end.
Yeah, and I think this is why you've also got to just like lean into self-trust and be like, let me just go see. Like, let me go see what I need to learn about myself, and take that next step for yourself. And another question I was going to ask is, did you ever want to give up? And
God,
you're like, oh my God, yeah, every day. And
absolutely. I was like,
what kept you going? Like, what kept you not giving up on yourself?
I was gonna say, like, who is this person who's telling me what to do? Like, oh God. Yeah, there were so many times, but I think when I was at those points where I was like, oh, I can't be bothered to prep my meals. I can't be bothered to, plan my meals for the week. I can't be bothered to go to the gym. There was also this little thing telling me, like, no, Nat, like, remind yourself, why did you join in the first place? Why did you spend money in yourself and invest in yourself to do this if you're not actually doing the things that you said you were going to do?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was like a huge thing for me. And I've forgotten your next question. What was
No,
that?
like I was just gonna say, like, what kept you going, which was basically that. It's just,
What? Yeah, I think what kept me going was just reminding myself of why I joined in the first place and
yeah,
the investment. Like, there's no point in spending money on things if you don't, you know, take the
right.
benefits from it
Yeah,
and actually deal with it.
yeah. I think it's really easy, and what we have to remember is like the reason we hire a coach is, and I'm the same. Like I have two mentors in my life, and they'll tell me to do things sometimes, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Actually, decided I don't really want to do that. That's the whole reason why they're there. It's because you don't want to do it, right? And I think it's reminding ourselves that it's like, oh, like they're actually telling us what we have to do to move forward. And actually, it's easier to stay comfortable. That's why we do stay comfortable. And I think it's really important. Sometimes it's really easy for us to be like, I don't want to do my check-in. I don't want to track my food. I don't want to get my steps in. I don't want to go to the gym. We all have days like that. And we always have moments like that. But I think also reminding ourselves, well, like you said, why? Why did we join this? Where do we
What's
want to
the
be in the next few months? And bringing it back to the vision, which I think we can definitely lose sometimes because like it just becomes part of routine and it's a little bit like, oh God, this isn't fun anymore because the stimulus
yeah.
goes, there's no
And I
excitement.
think that's another thing that I've massively learned is it is for life,
Yeah,
and it is like it's not necessarily interesting all the time because it is just
yeah.
rinse, repeat. Because by the way, it works.
Yeah, it does work.
I don't know if
Hate to
anyone told
break it to
you,
you guys, but
uh,
it works.
and it is just doing the same things. And I think this is what like my family and friends struggle with, who have like, struggled with weight in the past,
Yeah.
is that they're not necessarily prepared to just do the same things day in, day out.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that is what works. So that's something that is a hurdle that I've had to get over, is just getting it done. Just
Yeah.
get on with it.
It's going to be boring.
And like you say all the time, yeah, okay, it might be boring. Romanticize it.
Yeah.
Make make it something that you want to do and that you're going to enjoy, because you've made it so lovely that you want to do it every single day. Like,
100%.
one of my things I have to say as well, like with going to the gym, if for some reason I'm like, oh, can't be asked to go to the gym, I think, oh no, but I get to go to the sauna afterwards, and
Exactly.
it's my little like treat. Like, it sounds so silly. It's my treat for afterwards. And I
Reward
get to
yourself.
go in there, take my book in there, read
Yeah.
my book. And that's another thing as well. Oh my God, I go into the sauna, got my book. It's such a conversation starter. People
Yeah.
like, never thought of bringing a book in the sauna before. And
Yeah.
then just chat about my little book.
No,
And
I
then I
love
drink.
No, 100%. I think also people don't even utilize things like saunas and stuff enough. Like it's so important for your nervous system, but also so important as us as busy people to just go somewhere where like no one else can access you. And like again, like you do have conversations with people in there that you probably would never have a conversation with. Like it's putting yourself in those different situations. But I think also with that, it's very interesting what you said, because that's why I always say to everyone, like, reward yourself. Like we all have things we don't want to do. Like when I go for a walk, I'll always say to myself, you don't want to do that walk, or you're going to get a coffee at the end. But you can't have it until you've done the walk.
Yeah,
And you're like, all
yeah.
right, okay, I'll do the walk then, you know? Like sprinkle a little bit of dopamine into things. Like, okay,
Mhm.
you're going to go to the gym, you're going to do cardio. Like, all right, cool. Like afterwards, you get to go and cook yourself a nice dinner, or you're going to have a nice hot bath or whatever. And you're like, but you can't have that until you've done this. And it's
So you've
like,
done, yeah.
yeah, and it's just like, again, these things are going to be boring. They are so boring. I say to everyone, like, I've been doing it for 12 years. It is so dull. It is so boring. But I always say the simple basics move things forward, right? That's just the way it is. Simple as that. So, I was just going to ask as well, like, say if someone's listening and they were where you were when you first started or before you started, and they are nervous, they don't want to spend money on themselves, like you said, they are thinking, well, like, this is just who I am, or like, it's going to be hard and I'm not willing to do the hard thing. What would you say to that person that's like on the fence of not even just joining coaching, but starting their own journey? What would you say to that person?
I think I'd say to them, just try and imagine how you'll feel if you give it a go.
Yeah,
Because I think sometimes we are so involved in ourselves that we don't think of the bigger picture. And I think it's really important to kind of like imagine, if you try it, how different is your life going to look
yeah,
if you just take that first step and give it a go? Like, what's going to happen if you don't give it a go? You're just going to carry on. You're going
so
to feel the same way. But if you try, something might change. Something, you might feel a different way. So just, if you, yeah, try and imagine the bigger picture.
yeah. And I love that because it's like, again, like we are saying about vision, it's like sometimes we forget the vision, we forget where we're going, but we're going to get there. But if you don't even start, you're not going to get there. You're just going to
Yeah,
keep going around in circles.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's like
exactly.
there's no there's no harm in trying. Like there's
No,
no harm.
absolutely.
So yeah, 100%. But yeah, that's basically everything. I just wanted to say thank you so much. Like it's been such a privilege to coach you, and I'm excited to see what's next for you. Like I'm so excited for you to eat more food and push your calories
Yeah,
up
me
and
too.
trust yourself. You're like, yes, I get more food. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on today's podcast. Is there anything else you want to add at the end for anyone who's listening?
I think believe in yourself.
Yeah,
Believe in yourself is the biggest thing. You will feel uncomfortable, but sit with those feelings and, be proud of yourself. Like, you are stepping into something that is probably out of your comfort zone, because it was for me. Um, but it's so exciting, like that you've got such an exciting journey ahead of you. So yeah, believe in yourself. That is the biggest thing that I think
I love that.
people.
I think it's so hard to believe in yourself as well. So I think that's really nice because, and I always saying to the girls the other day on the call is like every single bit of evidence you give yourself that you can believe in yourself, whether it's like one little thing at a time, you're building that evidence and that kind of like self-trust bank in your head of like you're depositing another little bit of money into that bank in your head of like self-trust. And then the
Yeah.
more you do that, the more you're like, wait, I can do hard shit and I can do this, you know? So
Yeah,
yeah, no,
that is something that I say to myself all the time, is like, I can do hard stuff.
yeah, I can do hard shit. I'm a woman.
Mm.
I'm a woman. I go through my period
That
every
is
month.
what
I
it's
can do
about.
hard things.
Oh, that's another thing I was going to say. Sorry,
That's okay.
making this call last ages, but that's another thing that I've massively learned is my cycle. And
Yeah.
like I tracked my cycle before joining Ash anyway, but my God, have I learned about my cycle and like how I am as a person at different points in my cycle and how I need to be kinder to myself at different points in my cycle. And it's just recognizing that, like when to like go a bit harder or then when to take it back a bit more. So yeah, that's been really key for me.
Yeah.
Just learning about myself.
I think as women, we don't lean into our cycle enough. We just think, and we all go do it every single month. Why am I feeling this way? We check our app and we're like, oh,
Literally all the time. Like it honestly, it makes me feel so stupid because I'm like, oh, duh.
yeah, duh. And like I say, it's so interesting and it's so good you said that because I say to the girls all the time, like, you're gonna feel this way again in a few weeks, by the way. We need to be prepared for this. Like we
Yeah.
can't keep hitting the same roadblock and wanting to give up on yourself. Like it's gonna happen again next month. And then you're gonna go through, you're gonna have your period and then the next thing you're gonna be ovulating and everything's gonna be cushy and everything's gonna be great, but then you're gonna hit it again. So I think it's
Mm.
really important to mention that because I think that enough like women don't lean into the fact that like you are gonna gain some weight. It's not body fat, it's just water.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna feel puffy, you're gonna feel like more fatigued, you're gonna be hungry, you're gonna all those, you're gonna want to give up. But as we were saying earlier for our call, like at those moments you have to lean into more dopamine, like romanticizing things a little bit more, lighting some more candles, taking yourself up fresh air, saying no to things, protecting your energy. I said to one of my clients yesterday, I think this will be really helpful for anyone listening as well, is like just put a bubble around yourself. Like you are just putting this bubble around yourself. No one else can get in. You are just like this. This is your bubble. Like, and just let people bounce off. They're going. See you later. No, we're not coming in.
protect the peace.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
protect your peace,
You
100%.
are number one.
Yeah, 100%. You are number one. And my dad always says that. He always says, like, look after number one, and number one is you, you know?
Yeah,
So yeah.
definitely.
So thank you so much. Honestly, I've like loved having you on today. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. And I'll see you on the next one.
Bye.